Hello everyone. Today we are going to be talking about the past perfect in English. Now this is a tricky tense, so it is regarded as being appropriate for intermediate and advanced learners, right? Now this is an example of a compound tense as it comprises two parts. The past simple of to have, which is had, and the past participle of the main verb. Past participle, what are we talking about? So the past participle is usually formed by, it usually ends in ed. It's an impersonal form, right? That is used in tenses such as the perfect tense, and it is also used in the passive voice, right? Impersonal because it does not agree with a particular subject, right? But of course, in English, there are numerous exceptions to the rule, right? So if it usually ends in ed, this means that for many verbs, the past simple form will also be used for the past participle, right? For example, the verb look, the past simple is looked, and the past participle is looked. Same thing, right? But we have irregular verbs like take, which would be took in the past simple, taken in the past participle, right? So yeah, and of course, the past simple of to have is had, and that will be the same form or the same verb used for each person, right? So this is how we form it. Past simple of to have and the past participle of the main verb, right? So let's look at some examples of the formation. We had done our homework. So done would be from the verb to do. So do, past simple, did, past participle, done. Chelsea had already won the game. Won comes from the verb win. Win, won, won. Okay? So this is how we form the past perfect, right? Now, the next question, of course, is going to be how do we use it or when do we use it, right? So these are the three contexts in which the past perfect is utilized. First context, to talk about an action that occurred before another action, right? So in the past, when we are talking about or when we want to mention two activities, but we want to say that one preceded the other, we use the past perfect for the first event, okay? For example, when we entered the restaurant, they had already prepared the food. So you see, we have two actions that occurred in the past, right? Entering the restaurant and preparing the food, right? So which one happened first? Obviously the second. They had already prepared the food, right? So it means that when we entered, the food had already been done or had already been prepared, right? So this use or the fact that we utilize the past perfect here, this means that we are emphasizing that this occurred before that. Yes. So that's the first usage. If we have two events in the past and one occurred before another, we use the past perfect for the first event, right? So this is why sometimes it is called the past of the past, right? Secondly, she had gone to the supermarket before her family arrived. Once again, before. Before indicates that this action occurred first. She had gone to the supermarket before her family arrived. And you would notice that the second action in the, I don't want to say series, but the second action which is mentioned, or the action that occurred afterwards, is put in the past simple, right? Just like we have here, family arrived and where we entered. So anytime we want to talk about an action which occurred before another action, we use the past perfect. And the event which occurred first is put in the past perfect, whereas the event that happened afterwards is put in the past simple. Okay? Good. 2. To talk about time up to a particular point in the past. Yep. I had my business for 3 years when I moved to Spain. Now let's analyze this. What does this mean, right? I had my business. You see repetition that he had. So what this is saying is at a particular point in time, which particular point are we referring to? We're referring to when I moved to Spain. So we're talking about that particular point in time. So have that in your mind, right? I had my business for 3 years. Therefore, this is the point that we are looking at as the end point. But when is the starting point? When I first started the business, which was 3 years ago, okay? So up to that point, when I moved to Spain, I had my business for 3 years, which means that I started my business 3 years before I moved to Spain. You see? So when it comes to this usage, we are going to look at the particular point in question, right? And then we're going to go back in time to the start of another action. So in this case, it would be the time between when I started my business and when I moved to Spain. So this is why we have to use the past perfect. Because it's to talk about time up to a particular point. So up to that point, right? That's right. So next example. By December 2023, I had lived in Colombia for 5 years. Once again, we have the particular point in question. By December 2023. So up to that point, I had lived in Colombia for 5 years. Right. So December 2023, right? That was last year. So that means last year I had been in Colombia for 5 years. So when I moved to Colombia, that's the start point, and then up to that particular point in time, which obviously is not now, but in the past, December 2023, I had lived in Colombia. So when it comes to this usage, we are going to be talking about time up to a particular point in the past. And as you see in both examples, we have that particular point. In the first one, when I moved to Spain, and in the second one, by December 2023. Right? Good. 3. To talk about hypothetical scenarios. Now, with this usage, this is more of the subjunctive, but it has the same form, right, as the past perfect. But this is subjunctive because this is not based on reality, right? These are not situations that actually occurred, such as uses 1 and 2, right? So let's see. If we had had more time, we would have finished the exam. So with this structure, we have a condition. If we had had, so if we had had more time, we would have finished the exam. And then the second part, you're going to have the conditional, of course, right? The exam would have been easy if I had studied. As you can see, the if can occur at the end or it can occur at the beginning. But the if mentions the condition, and with that we use the past perfect. To be more specific, the past perfect subjunctive, even though they have the same form, right? Now, we could actually remove the if and just say just say had we had more time. So we can actually phrase it like a question, and that would also be a hypothetical. Had we had more time, we would have finished the exam. But obviously, the subject would go between the two hads, right? Had we had more time, we would have finished the exam. Had I studied, the exam would have been easy. See? So this relates to hypothetical scenarios. These are not real, these are not events that actually occurred, okay? Very good. So these are 3 uses of the past perfect in English. Now we are going to proceed to negation. Okay, so we move on to negation. How do we negate sentences in the past perfect? So we only need to add the word not, right? And we place it after the auxiliary verb, which should be to have, okay? So we had not seen the fireworks. They had not read your book. So the not follows the auxiliary verb. Now we could also create contractions, and we would have we hadn't seen the fireworks and they hadn't read your book. So those are just some contractions that can be formed. All right, so this is how we negate sentences. If we wanted to produce the affirmative equivalence, we would say we had seen the fireworks and they had read your book. We would just remove the not. Okay? Simple, right? Yep. Let's get to questions. To form questions, the auxiliary verb to have is put at the start, followed by the subject and the past participle of the main verb. Okay. Had, subject, past participle of the main verb. Had he gone to the supermarket? And of course, we could have more information in that question, but this is just the simplest form, right? Or the most basic form. Had he gone to the supermarket? So you see, the auxiliary verb is put at the start, followed by the subject, followed by the past participle, right? And whatever else that follows in that question, right? Had he gone to the market? If you want to form a negative question, not is placed after the subject, okay? So it will basically be this exact formula, but the only difference is that not will be placed between the subject and the past participle. Therefore, had, subject, not, past participle of the main verb. Had he not already done it? Had he not already done it? I could also form a contraction out of that by saying, hadn't he already done it? Right? As a question, had and not, those are going to fuse, whereas and he will go afterwards. So hadn't he already done it? Yep. And if you want to use other interrogative words like what, when, etc., we put that at the start. So, where had she been? Had she been? Where has she been? Yes. Okay, so this concludes our lesson on the past perfect. I hope that you were able to understand everything. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.